All the photos in this video have been processed and scanned by the super talented people over at FW Photo Lab. If you guys have been in search of a lab or you have a lab and you're looking for a new lab, I highly recommend them because they get the job done. And also, if you're so inclined, use my name at checkout and you'll get 15% off your first order. So Marcus Lloyd at checkout, and that'll give you 15% off. All right, so I am back from Mexico City and I am super excited to share with you this Mexico City on Film episode. And before, I wanted to just give you guys kind of a quick summary of what happened and how it went. So the first week in Mexico really was full throttle, 100% go mode. And I really tried to shoot with the Texas Leica, but just the immediacy and wanting to share photos and all that jazz. I ended up shooting with the Leica Q pretty much the entire first week. And then sadly our dog got sick and we spent a lot of time, pretty much the duration of the trip, going to vets and making sure that he was okay. Sadly, he did pass. But within that process of going to the vets and just him being sick, it changed our whole perspective of the trip. And for me personally, from a photography perspective, it slowed me all the way down. I had no interest anymore in sharing photos, really. I really didn't have any interest in making videos while I was there, which was a goal in mind. I really wanted to be present. It became about family, it became about being with each other, and like I said, being present. So after that first week, the next 2 weeks is really what you see here, is shooting film pretty much 100% of the time. So with that said, Mexico City was a stunningly beautiful city. The light, the colors, the temperature, everything about it. We fell in love with this city and we will be back very, very soon. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy Mexico City through my eyes. Gotta decide what we're doing today. Let's do it. So it's 6:30 in the morning and we're headed to Centro for sunrise. All right, so we've basically been spending the last 20 minutes walking through Centro Historico. And now we made it to this part where it opens up so beautifully, and I thought this would be a great place for us to stop and check in. Babe, what you think so far?
It's just super beautiful. We've never been to this part of town before, so seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, it's completely different. We stayed around here last time we were here back in 2019, but we didn't make it this far, and it's like, how could we have not? Like,
look at that.
I mean,
Look.
oh, all right, y'all, we're about to go back to shooting. All right, y'all. So quick tip, kind of, I guess. So the other day, actually last few days, we've been taking the highway back to our Airbnb, and along the way, off the highway, I've seen these cars parked outside of this street, and it seems really cool, and the cars have been there every time. So I bookmarked it, and now we're going to head over there to photograph it. All right, so I made it to the spot, and it's basically this perfectly centered car in between these multiple colored buildings, homes. And yeah, like I said, I drove past this, and it was something that I really wanted to photograph, and so we're here. All right, so at this point we have literally an evening left. This is our last day in Mexico City, and we had some really gracious neighbors that offered to take us around Coyoacan, which is a neighborhood about 30 minutes outside of kind of where everything's kind of happening in Mexico City. And they decided to take us out there to explore. He knew that we were photographers. His brother's a photographer, so he kind of understood what we were looking to see, and he's an architect, so he wanted to show us some architecture out there. And so big shouts out to Guillermo and Sasha for taking the time out and being gracious and showing us around the neighborhood. You didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate that. And we got to see a really beautiful side of Mexico City on our last day. All right, y'all, so that's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed Mexico City through my eyes as much as I enjoyed being there. I do have a couple of things. So one thing that I took away from this trip and my approach, specifically with film, and maybe this is a tip that could help somebody else out there, is when you come across a scene, sometimes when you have film, you kind of want to be patient, and that's kind of the point. You don't want to go crazy as if you're shooting digital. But that car scene with the turquoise car and the orange wall and all those dynamic colors in that scene, at the moment, I thought that I had something very special. I thought I was gonna get like a print-worthy type of photo. And maybe that is the case, but I look back at the 3 film photos that I took, and I am in deep regret. I honestly wish I would have taken way more photos than that, and it kind of hurts. It's one of those times that I wish I would have had my digital camera, and I would have just kept shooting different angles, different approaches, and I would have had the shots that I wanted. So, you know, if you get to that point and you see a scene and you think it's worth it, shoot a whole roll, shoot what you need to make sure that you got the shot, because I don't know when I'm gonna be back to Mexico City, let alone capture a scene like that again. And so that hurts a little bit. Lastly, I'll see you guys next week with a new episode. I am currently in Miami, and so I'll be bringing you some new content from here, which should be really cool. And I want to dedicate this episode to my beloved dog, Pierre. Love you, man. And for all the dog owners out there, enjoy them. Take advantage of every day that you have. You never know when it's our last. Anyway, guys, see you guys next week. Peace.